The way you talk to yourself matters more than you think. Every day you're having a conversation in your mind about who you are, what you can do, and what your future looks like. And here's the truth. If you keep telling yourself you're not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable, guess what? You'll start acting like it's true. But if you flip the script, if you start telling yourself, I can do this, I will figure it out, I deserve success, everything begins to change. Your mind listens, your actions follow, your results improve. Winners don't wait for someone else to encourage them. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They take control of their thoughts. They build themselves up with the right words. And because they believe in themselves, they take the kind of action that leads to success. So if you're tired of doubting yourself, if you're ready to see real change, stick around. Because today, I'm going to show you how to talk to yourself like a winner. And once you do, you'll be amazed at what happens next. Number 1, I deserve to be happy, and I will work for it. Happiness is not something that just happens to you. It's not something you stumble upon one day by accident. No, happiness is something you decide on, something you work for. It's something you take responsibility for every single day. Too many people sit around waiting for life to get easier, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for someone else to come along and make them happy. But that's not how life works. If you keep waiting, you'll be waiting forever. You have to take charge. You have to make the decision right now that you deserve happiness. Not someday, not when things get better, not when life gives you permission. Right now, because if you don't believe you deserve happiness, you'll never fight for it. You'll never put in the effort. You'll keep settling. You'll keep making excuses. You'll keep telling yourself that maybe happiness is for other people, but not for you. That's a lie. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter what mistakes you've made in the past. Every single person has the right to be happy, including you. But here's the truth. Happiness isn't free. You don't just get it because you want it. You have to work for it. You have to build it with your own 2 hands. And it starts with small things. You wake up in the morning and you make a choice. You can sit around feeling sorry for yourself, or you can get up and do something. You can dwell on everything that's wrong, or you can start focusing on what's right. You can complain about what you don't have, or you can start working with what you do have. That's the difference between the people who live a happy life and the people who stay stuck. It's not luck. It's not chance. It's not some secret formula that only a few people know. It's a choice, a decision, and then action. It means you stop waiting for motivation and start building discipline. You don't always have to feel like it. You just have to do it. You don't always have to be excited. You just have to show up. You don't always have to have the perfect plan. You just have to take the next step. Because every step forward counts. Every small effort adds up. Happiness comes from doing the right things, even when you don't feel like it. Taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, pushing yourself to be better than you were yesterday. That's how you build a life you can be proud of. But most people don't want to do the work. They want an easy answer, a shortcut, a quick fix. They want happiness to show up at their door without putting in any effort. And when it doesn't happen, they blame the world. They blame their past. They blame everything but themselves. But here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to do this for you. If you want happiness, you have to go get it yourself. That means cutting out the things that make you miserable. The bad habits, the negative people, the toxic thoughts. You can't expect to feel good if you're constantly feeding your mind with negativity. You can't expect to be happy if you spend all your time complaining about what you don't have, instead of appreciating what you do have. Start taking control. Start making decisions that support the life you want. If you know something is hurting you, stop doing it. If you know something is good for you, start doing it. It really is that simple. But simple doesn't mean easy. It's hard to break old habits. It's hard to change the way you think. It's hard to push yourself when you don't feel like it. But that's what separates the people who make something of their lives from the people who stay stuck. You have to be willing to do the hard things. You have to be willing to say, I don't feel like it today, but I'm going to do it anyway. You have to be willing to say, this is uncomfortable, but I'm not backing down. You have to be willing to say, I deserve to be happy, and I will work for it. And the moment you do that, everything changes. Because once you take responsibility for your happiness, you stop waiting. You stop making excuses. You stop depending on other people to make you feel good. And that's where real freedom comes from. When you know that no matter what happens, you have control. When you know that even on the bad days, you can still choose to take one step forward. When you know that happiness isn't something that just happens, it's something you create. And the best part, the more you work at it, the easier it gets. The stronger you become. The more natural it feels. And one day you wake up and you realize you built this. You built a life that makes you proud. You built a mindset that helps you win. You built a happiness that no one can take away from you. Not because life got easier, not because things magically changed, but because you changed, because you made a choice, because you decided once and for all that you deserve to be happy, and you were willing to work for it. And that makes all the difference. Number 2, I will take small steps every day toward my goals. Most people think success is about one big moment. One breakthrough, one lucky chance, one big leap. But that's not how success works. The truth is, success is built step by step, little by little, every single day. And the difference between those who make it and those who don't. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's not having all the right answers. It's the ability to take small steps, consistently, no matter what. The problem is, most people get stuck, waiting for motivation, waiting for the right time, waiting until they feel ready. But let me tell you something. If you wait, you lose, because the right time will never come. Motivation fades, and if you wait until you feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. That's why small steps matter, because action creates motivation. The more you do, the more momentum you build. And once you start, something amazing happens. You stop waiting and you start moving. But let's be honest, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. You set a big goal, and suddenly it feels impossible. You want to change your life, but you don't know where to start. You want to be successful, but the road ahead looks too long. That's where most people quit. They look at the whole mountain instead of just the next step. So let me give you the answer. Stop worrying about the whole journey. Just take the first step. Then another, then another. You don't have to change everything today. You just have to move forward, even if it's just a little. Because small steps compound. Small actions turn into habits. Habits turn into results. And before you know it, your whole life has changed. Think about this. What if instead of trying to change everything at once, you just committed to improving 1% every day? That's it. Just 1%. It doesn't sound like much, does it? But over time, it adds up. And that's the secret. Most people quit because they don't see results fast enough. They go to the gym for a week and don't see a six-pack. So they give up. They try to start a business. But when success doesn't come immediately, they walk away. They try to build a new habit, but when it feels slow, they think, maybe this isn't for me. But if you understand that small steps build success, you'll never quit again. Because now you know the truth. Progress is invisible at first. It feels slow. It feels like nothing is happening. But every action, every habit, every small step, it's all stacking up. It's all moving you forward. And then one day, something clicks. You look back and realize you've come so far. You're not the same person anymore. And it all started with one decision to take small steps every day, no matter what. But let's make this practical, because knowledge is useless without action. If you want to change your life, here's what you do. First, write down your goal and be specific. Don't just say, I want to be successful. What does that mean? Success in what? What exactly do you want? The clearer your goal, the easier it is to take action. Second, break it down. What small steps can you take today? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. If you want to get in shape, can you do 10 push-ups right now? If you want to start a business, can you spend 10 minutes learning something new? If you want to improve your mindset, can you read one page of a good book? The mistake most people make is waiting for the perfect plan. They want to figure everything out before they start. But that's not how success works. The best way to learn is by doing. Start where you are, with what you have, and figure it out as you go. Third, commit to consistency. Because let's be honest, starting is easy. Anyone can start something. The hard part is sticking with it when it's no longer exciting, when the motivation fades, when no one is watching. That's why discipline beats motivation every time. Because motivation is temporary, it comes and goes. But discipline, Discipline is what keeps you moving forward, even when you don't feel like it. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to commit to small daily action, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when no one else sees the effort. And here's the best part. If you just stick with it, something incredible happens. At first, progress is slow. You don't see much change. It's frustrating. But then, one day, the results start showing. You wake up stronger, more confident, more capable, and suddenly, everything gets easier. Because now, it's not just something you're doing, it's who you are. You're the kind of person who shows up. You're the kind of person who follows through. You're the kind of person who takes small steps every day, no matter what. And that's what separates successful people from everyone else. Not luck, not talent, just the decision to keep going when most people stop. So let me ask you, what small step can you take today? What's one thing you can do right now to move forward? Don't overthink it. Don't wait. Don't make it complicated. Just take action. Because success isn't about what you do once in a while. It's about what you do every single day. Keep going. Keep improving. Keep taking small steps. Because one day, you'll look back and realize those small steps led to something big. And that's how you change your life. Number 3. I am stronger than my excuses. Every day, there's a battle going on. A battle between what you want and the excuses trying to stop you. The moment you decide to do something, whether it's getting in shape, starting a business, improving your life, those excuses show up. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. I'm not ready. I'll do it tomorrow. And if you're not careful, you start believing them. You start thinking, maybe now isn't the right time. You convince yourself that you'll do it later, when things are easier. But let me tell you something. There is never a perfect time. If you keep waiting for everything to be just right, you'll never start. Excuses are nothing but lies. We tell ourselves to stay comfortable, and comfort is the enemy of progress. Because the moment you choose comfort over effort, you stop growing. You stop moving forward. You stay exactly where you are. But here's the truth. You are stronger than your excuses. Every time you push past them, you prove it. Every time you take action instead of making an excuse, you win. And every time you win that battle, you get stronger. Think about all the times in your life when you made excuses and missed an opportunity. Maybe you told yourself you weren't ready to take that job. Maybe you skipped the gym because you were too tired. Maybe you didn't start that project because you were afraid of failing. Looking back, do you wish you had just pushed through? Do you wish you had ignored the excuse and taken action? Now think about the moments when you did push past the excuses. When you showed up even when you didn't feel like it. When you made the call, took the risk, put in the effort. Those are the moments that changed your life. So what's stopping you today? What's the excuse trying to hold you back? Whatever it is, you have two choices. You can listen to it, believe it, and stay where you are. Or you can push through it, take action, and grow. The problem is, most people think they need motivation. They wait for the perfect moment when they feel inspired. But let me tell you something. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you won't feel like doing the work. Some days you'll want to take the easy way out. And that's when excuses get loud. But successful people don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. They do what needs to be done, no matter how they feel. And that's the difference. Because motivation is temporary, but discipline is what builds results. So how do you break free from excuses? How do you train yourself to take action, even when you don't feel like it? First, recognize the excuse for what it is. The moment you hear yourself say, "I'll do it later," or "I'm too tired," stop yourself. Is this really true? Or is this just an excuse trying to hold me back? Most of the time, you'll realize it's just your mind looking for the easy way out. Second, take action immediately. Don't give yourself time to think about it. Thinking leads to hesitation. Hesitation leads to inaction. And inaction leads to regret. So the moment you feel an excuse creeping in, do the opposite. If your mind says, "I don't feel like working out," get up and do 5 push-ups. If your mind says, "I'll start tomorrow," start right now. Even if it's small, just start. Third, build the habit of doing hard things. If you always take the easy route, you train yourself to quit when things get tough. But if you challenge yourself every day, If you push yourself even when it's hard, you build mental strength. You become the kind of person who does what needs to be done, no matter what. Think about the people who inspire you, the ones who have achieved great things. Do you think they had no excuses? Do you think they had an easy path? No, they had the same fears, the same doubts, the same reasons to quit, but they didn't let those excuses win. They took action anyway, and that's why they succeeded. And here's something to remember. Your excuses will always be there. They never go away, but you can get stronger. You can get to a point where those excuses don't control you anymore. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what you say you'll do. It's about what you actually do. And if you let excuses run your life, you'll never get what you want. But if you learn to push past them, if you take action even when it's hard, there is no limit to what you can achieve. So don't wait. Don't let another day go by, making the same excuses. Decide right now that you are stronger than your excuses. Decide right now that nothing will stop you, and then prove it with action. Because once you stop making excuses, you start making progress. And that's when everything changes. Number 4, look in the mirror and say, I am improving every day. Let's dive right into this. If you're serious about making real changes in your life, first place to start is with the person staring back at you in the mirror, because that's where it all begins. Too often, we look at ourselves and see everything that's wrong. We see the things we haven't accomplished, the goals we've fallen short of, and the mistakes we've made along the way. We judge ourselves by our failures, our imperfections, and our struggles. We forget to see the progress, the growth, and the small victories that happen every day. But it's time for a shift. When you look in the mirror, don't just see a reflection of the person you were yesterday. See the person you are becoming. See the progress that has been made, even if it's small. The truth is, every single day you are improving. You are getting better, even when you don't feel like it. Even when the results aren't immediately visible. It doesn't matter how far you've come or how long the road ahead seems. The important thing is that you're moving forward. And if you can say to yourself every day, I am improving every day, something powerful will happen. You'll start to believe it. And once you believe it, you'll start to act like it. But it has to start with that belief. Because when you believe you're improving, you stop focusing on what you haven't achieved yet. Instead, you focus on what you're doing today. Right now, that's moving you closer to your goals. Look, we all have areas where we want to improve. Maybe it's your health, your finances, your career, or your relationships. We all have things we wish were different about ourselves. But improvement isn't a destination. It's a journey. It's not about getting everything perfect all at once. It's about making small, consistent steps forward every single day. And when you get up each day with the mindset that you're improving, it changes how you show up. It changes how you think, how you act, and how you face challenges. Instead of letting obstacles knock you down, you see them as opportunities to learn and grow. Instead of being discouraged by setbacks, you understand that they are just part of the process. You see, the person who says, I am improving every day, is the person who gets up even when they don't feel like it. They push through the tough moments. They don't let fear or doubt hold them back. And when they make a mistake, they don't let it define them. They learn from it and keep moving forward. So when you look in the mirror, say to yourself, I am improving every day. Say it with confidence. Say it with conviction, because it's the truth. Every time you push past an excuse, every time you take action, every time you get one step closer to your goal, you are improving. Even on the days when it feels like nothing is changing, trust that progress is happening. It might be happening under the surface, in ways you can't see right away, but it's happening. And the more you believe it, the more you'll notice it. The key is consistency. The key is to keep showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard, even when you're tired. Because real growth doesn't happen in the moments when it's easy. It happens in the moments when you push yourself to keep going, even when you don't want to. And over time, you'll look back and realize just how far you've come. The things that once seemed impossible will become possible. The challenges that once seemed insurmountable will become stepping stones to your success. But it all starts with one simple thing: believing that you are improving every day. So next time you stand in front of the mirror, look yourself in the eyes and remind yourself, I am improving every day. and then go out and prove it. Because when you believe it, you'll start to live it. And when you live it, you'll start to achieve it. And that's when everything changes. Number 5. I can handle challenges. Let's face it, life isn't always easy. You're going to face challenges. You're going to encounter obstacles. You're going to meet times when things seem overwhelming, when it feels like the world is against you, and when everything is working against the dreams you're trying to build. But here's something important you need to understand. You can handle challenges. You see, most people, when faced with a challenge, look at it as a wall that they can't climb. They see a roadblock, something they can't get past, and then they get discouraged. They think, maybe I'm just not cut out for this, or maybe this is just too hard for me. But that's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. The people who make it to the top aren't the ones who have it easy. They're the ones who have learned how to handle challenges. They've learned how to face adversity with strength, resilience, and determination. And guess what? You have that same strength inside of you. It's not a matter of whether or not you'll face challenges. It's about how you choose to respond to them. You can't control everything that happens in life, but you can control how you react. And if you choose to respond to challenges with confidence and persistence, you'll be amazed at what you can overcome. Think about it. Some of the greatest success stories in history were written by people who faced massive challenges. People who were told they couldn't succeed. People who were knocked down time and time again, but who refused to quit. They didn't let the challenges define them. They let them strengthen them. Look, challenges don't have to be negative. They don't have to be something to fear. They are simply opportunities to grow. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to test your limits and push past them. Every challenge is a chance for you to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you think. You can handle challenges because you've handled challenges before. Maybe they weren't as big as the ones you're facing now, but you've still made it through tough situations. Think back to the times in your life when you didn't think you could get through something, but you did. Maybe it was a tough job or a relationship that was falling apart. Maybe it was a financial struggle or a health scare. Whatever it was, you found a way to get through it. You found a way to survive, and in many cases, you found a way to thrive. Now, I know that challenges can feel like they're never ending. There are times when it feels like just when you overcome one thing, another challenge shows up. But here's the thing, every challenge you face makes you stronger. It teaches you something. It builds resilience. It gives you the tools you need to handle the next challenge, and the next one after that. And with each challenge you face, you learn more about yourself. You learn how to be more resourceful. You learn how to be more patient. You learn how to be more creative in finding solutions. You learn how to trust yourself. The reality is that life is full of challenges, but that doesn't mean life is against you. The challenges you face are not there to break you. They are there to help you grow. Every challenge is an opportunity to build your character, develop new skills, and sharpen your mindset. So when you come across a challenge, don't back away. Don't shy away from it or try to avoid it. Look at it straight in the face and say, I can handle this. And then figure out a way to work through it. Break it down into smaller steps. Tackle it one piece at a time. Don't try to handle everything all at once. Just handle what you can. And trust that you have the strength to keep going. And here's something important to remember. When you're facing challenges, you don't have to do it alone. There's no shame in asking for help. Whether it's asking a friend for support, talking to a mentor for advice, or reaching out to a professional, there are people who want to help you overcome challenges. But even if you have to face it alone, know that you are capable. You have everything inside of you to handle what comes your way. You are strong, you are resilient, you are resourceful, and every challenge you face makes you better prepared for the next one. So the next time a challenge arises, don't ask, why me? Don't think about how hard it's going to be. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? You can handle challenges, and the challenges you face today are the stepping stones to your success tomorrow. Every time you rise to meet a challenge, you are growing. Every time you push through and refuse to give up, you are building the strength you need to go after your dreams. Remember, challenges don't define you. Your response to them does. And every time you handle a challenge with courage, determination, and persistence, you prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving greatness. So face your challenges head on. Don't let them control you. You control how you respond to them. And when you do that, you'll find that no challenge is too great for you to handle. Number 6. Every step forward is a victory. Every step forward is a victory. It doesn't matter how small the step is. It doesn't matter if it doesn't feel like much. Every single step you take in the right direction counts. Too often, we get caught up in the big picture, in the end goal, and we forget that the real progress is made one step at a time. We tend to think that success comes from big, dramatic leaps, but that's not how it works. The truth is, every day you move closer to your goals, you win. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you win. Every time you overcome a challenge or learn something new, you win. The victory is in the process, not just the result. Let's take a moment to think about the times you've been frustrated because it felt like you weren't making enough progress. Maybe you've looked at your goals and thought, it's taking too long, or I'm just not where I thought I'd be by now. I get it. We all have those moments. But let me tell you something. You are making progress. You are moving forward, and that's what matters. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of success being a giant leap forward. We see other people's results and think that's how it should be for us too. But the truth is, success is a series of small, consistent steps. It's showing up every day. It's doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. And it's learning to appreciate the small victories that happen along the way. Let me ask you something. When you take a step forward, how do you feel? When you take action, even if it's just one small thing, doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it feel like you've accomplished something? That feeling right there, that sense of progress, is the victory. And the more you acknowledge that feeling, the more motivated you'll become to keep taking steps forward. It's all too easy to get discouraged by the big goals we set for ourselves. We look at them and think, that's so far away, I'm never going to get there. But here's the key. You don't have to get there all at once. You just have to keep moving forward. You just have to keep taking those small steps. And eventually, they'll add up. Every time you make progress, no matter how small it seems, you're building momentum. You're getting closer. Even if you're not there yet, you're moving. And that movement, that action, is what leads to results. Think about it this way. If you were to climb a mountain, would you expect to reach the top in a single leap? Of course not. You take it one step at a time. And with every step you take, you're closer to the top. Even if the climb is difficult, even if the path is steep, every step is a step closer to reaching your goal. And guess what? The same principle applies to everything you do. Whether it's your health, your career, your relationships, or your personal growth. Every small step you take is a victory. Every time you make progress, even in the tiniest way, you're getting closer to where you want to be. Now here's the thing. Too many people don't give themselves credit for those small victories. They wait for the big win. They wait for the huge achievement. But in doing that, they miss the victories that happen every single day. They miss the progress that's already been made. Every time you get up early and do something toward your goals, that's a victory. Every time you say no to something that's holding you back, that's a victory. Every time you learn something new, that's a victory. And it's important that you recognize those wins. Because the more you recognize your progress, the more motivated you'll be to keep going. You start to see the value in every step you take. No matter how small it may seem, here's the truth. Progress isn't always visible. It doesn't always happen in big, dramatic moments. Sometimes it happens in the quiet moments, in the little choices you make every day. And that's okay. The key is to keep moving forward. If you want to achieve big things, you have to be willing to take small steps, day in and day out. And over time, those small steps will lead to big results. But it's up to you to see them as victories. You have to give yourself credit for the progress you're making, even if it doesn't look like much on the surface. The truth is, every step forward, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. The victory is in the process. It's in the daily actions you take toward your goals. It's in the decisions you make, the habits you build, and the mindset you cultivate. So the next time you take a step forward, celebrate it. Even if it feels small, even if it feels insignificant, celebrate it. Because every step is progress, and every step is a victory. When you start to see the small victories, you start to build momentum. And when you build momentum, you'll find that progress becomes easier. It's like a snowball effect. The more you take action, the more motivated you'll become. The more motivated you become, the more you'll take action. It all starts with taking those small steps, and every step forward is a victory. Number 7, I will talk to myself like I would talk to a friend. How often do you catch yourself saying things like, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough? We've all done it. We get frustrated, we get down on ourselves, and sometimes we let those negative thoughts take over. But let's stop and think for a moment. Would you ever say those things to a friend? Think about it. If your friend came to you with a problem, would you tell them that's too hard for you? Would you say, you're not cut out for this? Of course not. You'd encourage them. You'd remind them of their strength, their ability to handle tough situations, and their potential to succeed. So why is it that we're often so harsh with ourselves? The way we talk to ourselves matters more than we realize. We tend to be our own worst critics, but if we treated ourselves with the same kindness and support that we give to others, we would see a big change in our mindset and ultimately our lives. Now here's the thing. Most of the time, the way we talk to ourselves is automatic. It happens in the background of our minds without us even realizing it. But the truth is, you have the power to change the way you talk to yourself. You can choose to be kinder, more encouraging, and more supportive. You can decide that from this moment on, you're going to speak to yourself like you would speak to a friend. Imagine you're talking to a friend who's going through a tough time. What would you say to them? You'd probably remind them of their strengths, wouldn't you? You'd encourage them to keep going, to push through, because you know they're capable. You'd be their cheerleader, offering advice, but also offering comfort and support. So why not treat yourself the same way? The reality is, we all face challenges in life. We all hit rough patches. And when we do, we can either let those challenges define us, or we can rise above them. The way we talk to ourselves during those tough times will play a huge role in whether we rise or fall. If you constantly tell yourself, this is too hard or I'll never make it, you're planting seeds of doubt in your mind, and those seeds will grow into bigger obstacles. But if you say to yourself, I can do this, or I've faced tough situations before, and I've come out stronger, you're building resilience. You're setting yourself up for success. Let's talk about how you can start changing the way you speak to yourself. The first step is to catch yourself when you're being negative. When you hear that little voice in your head telling you that you can't do something, or that you're not enough, stop and ask yourself, would I say that to a friend? If the answer is no, then you know it's time to change the conversation. Next, replace those negative thoughts with positive, affirming statements. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I may not know how to do this yet, but I'm willing to learn. Instead of saying, I'm not good enough, say, I have the ability to improve, and I'm going to keep working at it. These small changes can make a huge difference in how you feel about yourself and your abilities. It's also important to recognize that speaking to yourself like a friend means offering yourself compassion. Sometimes we get upset with ourselves for making mistakes or not getting things right the first time. But mistakes are a natural part of life. No one gets everything perfect on the first try. When you're learning and growing, mistakes are just stepping stones along the way. And if you were talking to a friend who made a mistake, you'd offer them understanding and support. You'd remind them that it's okay to stumble and that they're not defined by their failures. The same goes for you. If you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up about it. Instead, say to yourself, I messed up, but that's okay. I'll learn from this and do better next time. This shift in mindset allows you to bounce back faster and stay focused on progress, not perfection. Another important aspect of talking to yourself like a friend is celebrating your wins, no matter how small they may seem. Too often we brush off our successes, thinking they don't count. But every win matters. Whether it's completing a task, sticking to a goal, or overcoming a fear, take the time to acknowledge and appreciate your efforts. If you were talking to a friend who accomplished something, you'd likely celebrate with them. You'd tell them how proud you are of them and how great they're doing. So why not do that for yourself? When you hit a milestone or achieve something, take a moment to reflect on it and be proud of what you've done. Remind yourself that you're moving forward, and that's something to be proud of. Speaking to yourself like a friend isn't just about being positive. It's also about being realistic. Sometimes the best thing you can do is offer yourself a little tough love. You might need to remind yourself that it's time to stop making excuses, to stop procrastinating, or to take responsibility for your actions. But even in those moments, do it with kindness. Instead of saying, "Why can't you get it together?" say, "I know I'm capable of more, and I'm going to take action today." That kind of self-talk pushes you to grow without tearing you down. Finally, remember that how you talk to yourself shapes your reality. If you tell yourself that you're capable, that you're deserving of success, and that you have what it takes, you're going to believe it. And when you believe in yourself, you're more likely to take the actions that will lead to success. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, or that things will never work out, you're going to hold yourself back. So make the decision today to change the way you speak to yourself. Start talking to yourself like you would talk to a friend, encouraging, kind, and supportive. Every time you do, you'll build your confidence and your ability to take on the challenges that come your way. And as you do, you'll see how powerful this shift in mindset can be. The way you talk to yourself matters, and it's time to start using your words to build yourself up, not tear yourself down. Number 8, I will not compare my life to others. You've probably heard the saying, comparison is the thief of joy, and there's a lot of truth in that statement. In today's world, it's so easy to get caught up in comparing yourself to others. You scroll through social media, you see someone's success, their achievements, their perfect life, and you start to wonder, why don't I have that? Why am I not there yet? But here's the thing. When you compare your life to someone else's, you're only seeing part of the picture. You're not seeing the struggles, the sacrifices, or the challenges they've faced to get where they are. You're only seeing the highlights, the polished version of their life, and it's not a fair comparison. Everyone has their own journey, their own timeline, and their own set of challenges to face. Your path is unique, and it doesn't need to look like anyone else's. The reality is, when you focus on comparing yourself to others, you're taking your attention away from what truly matters: your own growth, progress, and happiness. You're focusing on what you don't have, rather than appreciating what you do have and what you're capable of. And when you're constantly looking at someone else's success, you start to feel like you're not doing enough, or like you're falling behind. But that mindset only holds you back. So what if you made the choice to stop comparing yourself to others? What if you decided that your journey is enough? What if you told yourself, I don't need to be anyone else. I am on my own path, and I am making progress every single day. That's the kind of mindset that will help you move forward and find happiness in your own life. Let's talk about how you can stop comparing your life to others. The first step is to recognize when you're doing it. Maybe it's when you're scrolling through social media, or maybe it's when you hear about someone's promotion at work or their latest achievement. The key is to notice when that feeling of comparison creeps in. And when you do, remind yourself that it's not serving you. It's not helping you get any closer to your goals or making you feel good about yourself. In fact, it's just making you feel inadequate. Once you recognize the urge to compare, it's time to shift your focus. Instead of thinking about what someone else has, think about what you have. Think about your own strengths, your own accomplishments, and the things you've done to get where you are. Appreciate the progress you've made, even if it's small. Every step forward counts. You're moving in the right direction, and that's what matters most. Another powerful way to stop comparing yourself to others is to remember that everyone's journey is different. You don't know the full story behind someone else's life. You don't know what struggles they've faced or what sacrifices they've had to make. It's easy to look at someone's success and think they've got it all together. But what you don't see is the hard work, the failures, the setbacks, and the lessons learned along the way. Every person's story is unique, and comparing yourself to someone else's journey is not only unfair, it's unrealistic. Instead of comparing, start focusing on your own journey. Set your own goals, measure your own progress, and celebrate your own wins. Understand that it's okay if your path looks different from someone else's. It's okay if it takes you a little longer to get to where you want to be. What matters is that you're taking action, you're learning, and you're growing. Let me tell you something. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's built over time, through consistent effort and perseverance. And your success will look different from someone else's. and that's perfectly fine. Your life is yours to create, and you're the only one who can define what success looks like for you. So stop worrying about what others are doing, and focus on what you need to do to achieve your own goals. Here's another important point to consider. When you compare yourself to others, you're often measuring yourself against an idealized version of their life. You see their success, their happiness, or their achievements, and you think it's perfect. But remember, no one's life is perfect. We all face challenges, we all make mistakes, and we all have our own struggles behind the scene. It's easy to look at someone's highlight reel and forget that everyone has their own battles to fight. Instead of comparing, practice gratitude. Take time each day to appreciate what you have in your life. Your health, your family, your friends, your opportunities. Focus on the good things that are already in your life. And recognize that you are enough, just as you are. Your worth is not determined by how you measure up to someone else. You have your own unique qualities, your own talents, and your own potential. And when you stop comparing, you can start to truly appreciate those things. Another way to break free from comparison is to stop using social media as a benchmark for success. Social media can be a wonderful tool for connecting with others, but it's also a highlight reel, a curated version of someone's life. People often only share the best moments, the successes, and the picture-perfect moments. What they don't share are the tough times, the setbacks, and the struggles. So when you look at someone's social media, remember that it's not the full picture. It's just a glimpse into their life. And it's not a fair comparison to measure your own life against. If you want to stop comparing, stop following accounts that make you feel inadequate or discouraged. Follow accounts that inspire you, that motivate you, and that encourage you to be the best version of yourself. Fill your feed with positivity, not negativity. Finally, it's important to understand that comparison only holds you back. When you compare yourself to others, you're focusing on what you don't have, what you haven't achieved, and what you haven't done yet. That kind of thinking keeps you stuck. It prevents you from taking action and moving forward. But when you stop comparing and start focusing on your own progress, you'll feel more empowered, more confident, and more capable of achieving your goals. The truth is, your life is your own. Your journey is yours to create, and you don't need to compare it to anyone else's. Your success is defined by the progress you make, the lessons you learn, and the person you become along the way. So let go of the need to measure yourself against others. Embrace your own path, celebrate your own progress, and trust that you are exactly where you need to be. Stop comparing and start focusing on what matters most: your own growth, your own happiness, and your own future. You are enough. You have everything you need to create the life you want. And the only person you need to compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Keep moving forward, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself. Number 9, I will follow through on my promises to myself promises. We all make them, but how often do we follow through on them? Especially when it comes to the promises we make to ourselves. It's easy to promise to get up earlier, work out, eat healthier, or achieve our goals. But it's much harder to actually follow through, right? Here's the thing. When you make a promise to yourself, it's more than just words. It's a commitment. It's a promise to build the life you truly want. And following through on those promises is how you build trust with yourself. It's how you show yourself that you are capable, that you are worthy, and that you have what it takes to make things happen. When you break promises to yourself, you start to lose trust in yourself. And that's a dangerous place to be. If you can't trust yourself to do what you say you're going to do, how can you expect anyone else to trust you? How can you expect to make progress, achieve your goals, and create the life you want? But the good news is this: you have the power to change that. You have the power to start keeping the promises you make to yourself. And with each promise you keep, you'll become more confident, more focused, and more capable. So how do you do it? First, you need to start small. Don't set yourself up for failure by making promises that are too big or unrealistic. Start with small, achievable promises. For example, instead of saying, "I'll work out every single day for the next month," try "I'll work out for 20 minutes today." By starting small, you make it easier to follow through, and you build momentum. As you keep those small promises, you'll start to trust yourself more. and you'll gain the confidence to make bigger promises. Next, you need to be specific. Vague promises are easy to break because there's no clear direction or plan. For example, instead of saying, "I'm going to eat better," say, "I'm going to have a healthy breakfast tomorrow." Instead of, "I'm going to work harder," say, "I'm going to finish that project by Friday." The more specific your promises are, the easier they are to keep. Another key to following through is to make your promises non-negotiable. Too often we make promises to ourselves, but then we let other things get in the way. Maybe you're too tired, or you're distracted, or you think it's not that big of a deal. But when you treat your promises like they're non-negotiable, you make them a priority. You don't let excuses or distractions get in the way. If you said you were going to work out, then you work out. If you promised to read 10 pages of a book, then you do it, no matter what. When you make your promises non-negotiable, you send a message to yourself that you are committed and that your word matters. It's also important to be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. There will be times when you break a promise to yourself. Maybe you missed a workout, or you didn't complete a task, but that doesn't mean you should give up on yourself or throw in the towel. Instead, use it as an opportunity to learn. Ask yourself, what went wrong? Why didn't I follow through? And then adjust. Life happens, and sometimes things don't go as planned, but it's important to get back on track and continue moving forward. Don't let one slip-up define you. Another powerful way to follow through on your promises is to track your progress. When you see how far you've come, it motivates you to keep going. You'll see that you're making real progress, and that progress will fuel your commitment to continue. Whether it's writing down your goals, keeping a journal, or using an app, tracking your progress helps you stay accountable to yourself. It reminds you that you're moving closer to the life you want to create. Now let's talk about the importance of your environment. Your environment plays a huge role in whether or not you'll follow through on your promises. If you're constantly surrounded by distractions, negativity, or people who don't support your goals, it's going to be much harder to keep your promises. So take a look at your environment. Are you setting yourself up for success, or are you setting yourself up for failure? If you want to follow through on your promises, you need to create an environment that supports your goals. This might mean getting rid of distractions, surrounding yourself with people who encourage you, or setting up a space that helps you focus. Make your environment work for you, not against you. Your surroundings should empower you to keep your promises and make progress toward your goals. Another key to following through is accountability. Share your promises with someone you trust, whether it's a friend, a mentor, or a coach. When you have someone to hold you accountable, you're more likely to follow through. They can encourage you, check in on your progress, and remind you of why you made that promise in the first place. Accountability is a powerful tool because it makes you more responsible for your actions and decisions. You also need to remind yourself why you're making these promises in the first place. What's the bigger picture? Why do you want to keep these promises? When you remember the why behind your promises, it helps you stay focused and motivated. Your promises should align with your bigger goals and values. When you know why you're doing something, it's easier to stay committed. One of the most powerful things about keeping promises to yourself is the confidence it builds. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. You build a sense of self-respect and integrity that strengthens your character. The more promises you keep, the more you trust yourself, and the more you start to believe in your ability to achieve your goals. It's like a snowball effect. Each promise you keep makes it easier to keep the next one. And before you know it, you've built a strong foundation of self-trust that will carry you through anything life throws your way. The truth is, following through on your promises is one of the most important things you can do for yourself. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about showing up for yourself every day and proving that you are capable of achieving what you set out to do. When you follow through, you build the life you want, one promise at a time. So today, make the decision to follow through on your promises. Start small, be specific, and treat your promises as non-negotiable. Track your progress, create an environment that supports your goals, and hold yourself accountable. And most importantly, be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. Your journey is not about perfection, it's about progress. The more you follow through, the more you'll realize just how much power you have to shape your life. You are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to, so keep your promises and keep moving forward. You've got this. Number 10. For 7 days, I will think, speak, and act like a winner. For the next 7 days, you're going to make a decision that will change everything. It's simple, but it's powerful. You're going to think, speak, and act like a winner. Every moment, every decision, every thought will align with this new mindset. Why? Because how you think, speak, and act shapes the life you experience. If you want a life that reflects success, joy, and fulfillment, you need to adopt the mindset and behavior of a winner. And you can start today, no matter where you are right now. Let's break this down. First, let's talk about thinking like a winner. Your thoughts are the foundation of everything in your life. They shape your emotions, your actions, and ultimately your results. If you think like a winner, you'll start to believe that you are capable of achieving great things. But it all begins with a choice. For the next 7 days, you're going to choose to think positively. It doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. It means choosing to focus on the possibilities, the opportunities, and the solutions. When a problem arises, you won't let it drag you down. Instead, you'll ask yourself, how can I solve this? What can I learn from this? Winners don't dwell on obstacles. They focus on overcoming them. Every time you have a negative thought, replace it with a positive one. You'll be surprised at how much this shifts your perspective. The more you practice thinking like a winner, the more natural it will become, and the more your mindset will shift towards success. Next, let's talk about speaking like a winner. Words are incredibly powerful. The way you speak to yourself and to others creates your reality. A winner speaks confidently, with purpose, and with positivity. They don't dwell on doubt or fear. They speak with conviction, knowing that their words have the power to shape their future. For the next 7 days, pay attention to the words you use. Are you speaking words of encouragement or words of defeat? Are you lifting others up, or are you reinforcing negativity? Speak with purpose, speak with confidence, and speak with a mindset that believes in success. If you catch yourself saying anything negative, stop and reframe it. For example, instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I will figure this out. Winners are careful with their words because they know their words have power. You will also speak kindly to yourself. Many of us wouldn't dare talk to a friend the way we talk to ourselves. If you wouldn't say something negative to someone you care about, don't say it to yourself. Winners speak words of encouragement, support, and love, especially when times are tough. Treat yourself with the same kindness and respect that you would show someone you love. Now let's move on to acting like a winner. It's easy to say all the right things and think positively, but without action, nothing changes. Winners act. They take decisive steps toward their goals, even when the path is unclear. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They create it. For the next 7 days, take action every single day. Even if it's a small step, take action. What actions can you take that align with your goals? Maybe it's taking that first step toward a fitness routine. Maybe it's reaching out to a potential client or partner. Maybe it's starting a project you've been putting off. Whatever it is, take action. Winners understand that success doesn't come from sitting back and waiting for things to happen. It comes from showing up, doing the work, and staying consistent. One of the most important actions you can take is to start with small wins. Every time you take action and move closer to your goals, celebrate it. Every step forward is a victory. It doesn't matter how small it seems. What matters is that you're moving in the right direction. Winners build momentum by stacking up small victories, one after the other. And when they win, they keep going. They never stop. For the next 7 days, you're going to make a commitment to think like a winner, speak like a winner, and act like a winner. But remember, this is just the beginning. 7 days is enough to shift your mindset, but the real key is to continue. Think of these 7 days as a training ground, a way to develop the habits and mindset of a winner. When you start thinking, speaking, and acting like a winner, you'll notice something incredible happen. You'll start seeing opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You'll start making decisions with confidence. You'll start feeling unstoppable. But here's the catch. Winners don't quit after 7 days. Winners keep going. They keep growing, learning, and taking action. The habits you develop in these 7 days are just the start of something much bigger. They're the foundation for a new way of living, a new way of thinking, and a new way of being. So for the next 7 days, give it everything you've got. Think like a winner, speak like a winner, act like a winner. And when you reach the end of the 7 days, don't stop. Keep going. You've got what it takes to make this mindset shift permanent. You've got what it takes to create the life you want. It's all up to you. The choice is yours. If you want a life of success, of purpose, and of fulfillment, then think, speak, and act like a winner. You have the power to change everything, starting today. The way you talk to yourself today decides where you'll be tomorrow. You can either keep feeding yourself doubt, fear, and excuses, or you can start speaking strength, confidence, and success into your life. The choice is yours. No one is coming to do this for you. No one is going to step in and rewrite the words in your mind. You have to take control. You have to decide, from now on, I speak to myself like a winner. I lift myself up. I push myself forward. I don't let negativity run my life anymore. Because when you change the way you talk to yourself, you change everything. Your attitude, your energy, your results. And soon you won't just be saying the right things, you'll be living them. So start today. Watch what happens. And remember, you deserve success just as much as anyone else. But it all begins with how you speak to yourself. The way you talk to yourself today decides where you'll be tomorrow. You can either keep feeding yourself doubt, fear, and excuses, or you can start speaking strength, confidence, and success into your life. The choice is yours. No one is coming to do this for you. No one is going to step in and rewrite the words in your mind. You have to take control. You have to decide, from now on, I speak to myself like a winner. I lift myself up. I push myself forward. I don't let negativity run my life anymore. Because when you change the way you talk to yourself, you change everything. Your attitude, your energy, your results. And soon you won't just be saying the right things, you'll be living them. So start today. Watch what happens. And remember, you deserve success just as much as anyone else. But it all begins with how you speak to yourself.